Hey everybody, I'm Trey Trimble. This is my first tutorial, so forgive me, I will not be good at this. I had a project to work on recently and it involved rain. And water is kind of organic and hard to work with sometimes if you don't have actual footage of rain, actual stock footage of rain. Mr.Mercury does a good job of it. As far as it hitting the window and hitting the lens and creating that effect. I did have a problem with it looking too circular when it hit. When you had it set up, it was just like circle, 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 and they slide down. And so we're going to get into that. Let's get into it right away. We'll go to composition. Well, actually first I will show you what, this isn't the project's at work. I don't have that with me. But here's an example. You can see that all these little drops here add to the effect. There's the drops are not just like circle, circle. They're more organic shaped. The example we will be making is this right here, which is a fall scene. And you can see that it looks a lot more realistic than circles hitting it. And that looks pretty believable. I mean, you can, it's not exactly realistic, but it does a good job. And we'll get into it right now. Go to composition, new composition. 1280 by 720 will be good. 20 seconds. Yeah, that should be plenty of time. Okay, we're gonna start. So we dropped our picture in here at the comp. If you have footage, we'll just pretend it's footage. Pre-comp, we'll call it footage actually. Alright, so footage, there it is. Alright, so now we will duplicate that footage. We'll call this drops. We will go to effect, simulation, Mr.Mercury. And if you work with Mr.Mercury, you know the default looks like a blobby fountain of, I don't know, refreshing stuff. So let's go about 7 seconds. We'll start tweaking it. Let's drag our radius X out quite a bit. Let's go about 600 or so. Y we'll do a little bit, and then we will drag our producer, which is where they generate from, but with our radius out so much, it's not that noticeable, but still. We're going to drag our radius, our producer. We'll drag him up out of frame, and you can see how they're kind of shooting off, almost in different directions a little bit. It's kind of crazy looking. Let's go ahead and turn our velocity off. That should take care of that. Now should our gravity is kind of quick. Let's go to gravity. Let's set it to 0.02. Let's look at that. Let's hang on. We're not getting a good time to see it. Let's set our birth rate 1. Okay. Longevity 20 seconds. Now let's look at it. Not bad. Still a little quick though for my taste. Let's go 0.01. Not bad. That may work. I may go ahead and bring our radius Y up and our radius X some also. Okay, there's the max. So we may bring drag out to the max. It's not bad. Let's bring our birth rate down. Well, hang on. Let me move this up some before we touch our birth rate. That's looking good. Let's set our blob to just blob, not blob in and out, but blob out. That way it looks more like rain actually hitting the screen. I'll tell you what. Let's drag our X in some. Let's go 600 again. And our size. Our size, we'll make it 0.3. Good. Y602. Okay, let's do that. And look Look at that. That looks pretty good. I think I'm happy with that, actually. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Light shading, whatever, that's fine. Explosives, whatever. Gravity, longevity, birth rate. Okay. Now we will get into why I am doing this tutorial. It circles. It is circles. So, the only way I know to solve this would be to create a new solid. We'll call it fractal. Boom. And in order for this to work, you have to pre-comp it. So pre-compose this. I said that weird. We'll call it displace, because that's what it's going to be doing. Move all attributes into the new comp. Done. Alright. Let's go into this comp and effects, noise and grain, fractal noise. I'm yawning. Wow, that's a big yawn. Okay, let's go set our fractal type to dynamic. We'll invert that so it's not so bubbly looking. Contrast, let's go about 250. So we have plenty of black in there, maybe a little too much. Bring it down some. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and move our evolution till we have kind of a more even spread. Yeah, looks good. Everything should be fine there. Let's go ahead and I say that a lot. Let's go ahead and add a fast blur. Let's set it to 5. Should be good. If you don't have any blur on there, it tends to be too jagged, and your drops will look. It'll have some sharp lines on it, and you don't want those. We're at 8 minutes already. Okay. My camera will shut up by itself at a certain amount of time, which is kind of stupid. Anyways, 5 blur. Should be good. Alright, let's go. Let's close that. Should be good there. Our drops. Let's go ahead. Okay. Distort. Go to Effects, Distort Displacement Map. Go to our displacement map layer here. It'll displace on itself for whatever reason. Go ahead and go to our displace layer. Boom. And set to luminance. Luminance, I don't know if that really, I never see a difference on this particular thing, so I don't know if it matters, but it is done by luminance here. Maybe it's lightness. Doesn't matter, different day. Okay. Alright, let's leave horizontal at 5. Let's make our vertical about 28 or so. And you're pretty much done there. You can look at it and see that when it hits, it looks more like water drops hitting a screen than just like circle, 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 circle. It's more like drops hitting a lens. It makes the effect more believable. Sometimes it may be a little much on the displacement amount, and you could turn that down depending on what you're doing. The other thing I wanted to cover was the little drops I had going on that you saw. I usually will copy the drops, drops 2, which is Control D if you're on Windows, Command D if you're on Mac. There, I said it. Okay. Let's see. We'll call it small drops, and we'll set our size to 0.02, 0.02. Those should be fine. Let's go ahead and set our birth rate. Pardon me. To let's look at 120. Pardon me. 120. Maybe more than that. Let's go 210. Oh, and also I set my vertical displacement back to like 8 or 10 or so. Let's set our size to 0.03. I think it'd be a little too small. And the gravity seems to be a little too much. Let's set our gravity for the small ones to 0.001. There was just a little bit of movement, not too much, because they're little, they usually hit and don't really move much at all. I usually set those to 0. Don't forget to move your small drops below your drops layer, because it looks funky. Let's set our gravity to 0 on the small drops. Just go ahead and do that. Okay. Now let's look at the render here. Looking pretty good. Now, another thing that helps sell the effect also is that usually you don't have both of them in focus. So let's go to our footage. There's our layer. Let's go to, I don't know, 3 seconds in. How's that looking? 3 seconds in. Let's look when the first big drops appear. Okay. Let's go 5 seconds in. And we'll go to Effect, Blur, Fast Blur. Click Repeat Edge Pixels, and let's add a 12 blur. Repeat Edge Pixels takes care of the edge, which if you blur it out, the pixels won't be there. And then you just go ahead and repeat those, and it makes it solidly edges for you, in case you're wondering. Let's set a keyframe at 5 seconds on the blurriness. Hit U to bring down your keyframe. Let's go to about 7 seconds, and let's set a keyframe again. We're going to go from unblurred. There it was. My camera cut out. It's looked over and saw it stop, so I'll say it again in case whatever you missed. We are setting a blur here. Set your blur to be at 7 seconds here. Set it to 12 and set the 5 seconds to 0. We're going to be going from non-blur to blur. Okay, now let's stay at 5 seconds. Go to our comp. Our drops and our small drops. Select both of those. Go up here, add a fast blur to both of those. Select drops. Set a keyframe here. Small drops also. Control, select both of them. Hit U to bring down their keyframes. Alright, select both those keyframes. Let's go ahead and F9. Make those easy E's. We're gonna make this a 4 blur. If you go too much with the like around 12 with the Mr.Mercury, if you're doing this style, I'm not gonna say everything. If you go with this style, 12 is too much in my opinion. Some people may like that. Go with it. I like the 4, so I want to go with about 4. And let's go to 7 seconds. And I like to go about 0.4 or 5 blur on the in focus, because it makes it look less digital. I feel like if it looks too crisp, too sharp, it looks digitized. Yes, I think that, let's go ahead and make these easy E's also in your footage. Blurriness, F9, and we select both of them, F9, there you go. Alright, let's look at our comp. There you go. Okay, there we go. It's hitting, looks pretty good. Good displacement on this one, and yeah, and you can see, I'll show you the difference here. With CC you can do it live, I think. Our Mr.Mercury just turned displacement off. You see that? A half second there. Circles, displacement. No displacement. Displacement. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This is probably a known thing already. I just didn't see anything on it when I searched. So in case people thought it was too simple to post or whatever, there you have it. I posted it. Displacement map, Mr.Mercury, rain effect on window. Let me go ahead and try to create rain for you just in case. Let's go to our footage. We'll make a new solid. We'll call it rain. Effects, simulation, particle world. Let's turn our grids and guides off. Alright. Producer. Let's see, I'll set the radius on X to be about like that. Z can be pretty far too. Y should be fine. Let's go to our producer, still producer, my bad. Let's raise our position up till we can't see where it's spawning, birthing from. Whatever. Okay. Physics. Explosive should be good. Let's maybe. Let me look at what this looks like right now. Okay, we need our slide this over to. Always slide over your particle layers if you're doing rain, unless you want the bottom to fall out immediately. Let's see. Our particle right here needs to be. Let's go with a faded sphere. Make it white. And maybe a little bit of gray there. Okay, let's go ahead and turn motion blur on then. Done. Okay. Let me see. Where's my physics here? All right. Explosive should work. Let me set my producer here. Let's bring that wider. Birth rate. Oof. Gravity. Let's look at 8. Let's set our our Z radius a little more. Maybe set our size some down to particle burst size. Let's go 10. Yeah, that should work a little better. Yeah. 2. I think our producer needs to come up on our position 2. There we go. I tell you what, if I can, let me look at this. I haven't played with this yet. Blur. No. Wait, yes. Go back. Vertical blur. Let me know what this does. Yeah, that makes the rain a little softer because that particle seems to make it look kind of funky. I'll tell you what, we can bring our gravity down to because it's a little too fast. I was trying to get that blur smoother and it wasn't happening. So let's go to physics. Gravity. Let's go 4. That's pretty good, I think. Alright. But yeah, there you go. That's my Mr.Mercury tutorial on that with rain. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm Trey Trimble, and if you want more tutorials, let me know. If you have any ideas. One more thing. When you get your drops all set and it's all pretty, there's another step of realism you can add. Duplicate your drops again. Put it beneath your original drops. We'll call it streak drops. And it's you just come over here to your displacement map, bump it up like right about. You kind of eyeball it. I'd probably go 96 for this one, and then that's about it. And that just adds another step of realism because you don't get the streaks with Mr.Mercury. Kind of hits and then goes, and there's nothing left behind. This kind of creates that illusion of streaks that water would make as it travels down. Let me bump the opacity back up to like 75. Let's go 100. That's good. So 100, you can see you have the streaks kind of happening that water might make. Also set your blob, your influence map, blob out to blob in and out. That way the streaks don't go bam, streak. They go gently in, like they blob in and blob out. So they're just going bang. Okay, that's all I had to say. I'll let you go now. Yeah.